Well, hey, I'm excited to be here with the Pierce Dispatch with my good friend Scott Beck. Scott,
Let's go.
How's it going, man?
Everything's good.
Good. Well, welcome back.
FDIC, 10 years in a row. Here
This is
we
your
are.
10th one, huh?
Yeah.
I was
let's
doing
go.
the math this morning, so this is number 14 for me.
Love it.
Did you ever
Love
come to
it.
FDIC as a customer?
Never came as a customer.
All
Always
right.
been with Siddons Martin sales rep side, and kind of crazy how, I remember, I think the first one was when we released the single axle 107.
Well, just to do a little bit of an introduction, for those of you who don't know, this is Scott Beck. Scott, can you introduce yourself, a
Yeah.
little bit of what you do, who you work for?
Yeah, I'm Scott Beckwith. I've been selling for Siddons Martin Emergency Group really for 10 years now. Been repping the Pierce brand and all the other brands that Siddons Martin has. I'm also a fireman. I work part-time in Parker County, Texas. And I've got 4 kids, a beautiful wife, and just loving life.
Man, so tell me a little bit, Scott, what do you look forward to every year at FDIC?
In the Pierce booth, I really look forward to the innovation. I think one of the biggest things that I was just telling a customer this, like, we look for problems and then we look to solve them. So 2 really good examples is our collision mitigation this year. You know, a guy that I knew really well growing up, he's a fireman in Dallas. He was killed in the line of duty, was hit by a car. And so we've obviously had a problem with fire trucks getting hit on highways, and unfortunately some firemen and some police officers getting hit as well. So what do? We go look to figure out a solution, and then we put the solution in place and we solve that problem. So that's a big one. And then the top mount PUC. A lot of firemen love top mounts. They love being up out of the way. They love being high. They can see the scene. But what's the problem with the top mount? You got the long wheelbase. What do? We solved it. So that's the best part about coming to the Pierce booth every year.
Yeah, that's fun. Well, I appreciate you always bringing the energy for that. The other part that blows my mind, specifically around that top mount, is hearing you talk about it. I always thought it was a snow thing. So you can operate on both sides. Like I think of like Pulaski, Wisconsin run zone, like notoriously because of snowbanks.
Yeah.
What's the draw to top mounts in Texas?
If you talk to firemen, they're going to say, I can get out of the highway on a wreck scene. And then the drivers would say, I can see the whole scene and I'm not running side to side on the truck to look at which line did they pull or what does the cap need to get my fan or whatever. In a side mount, if you're on the street side and the fire's on the curb side, you can't see.
Yeah.
But on a top mount, you can stand up there and see.
Yeah.
So that's the draw. It is hot, but it's hot on the pavement too. So who cares?
Yeah. Hot's hot, man. Cold's cold. Anyone who tells
Cold's
you that,
cold. That's right.
You know that when you spend so much time in Wisconsin as well. Well, what kind of advice would you have for any customer that's going to come to FDIC for the very first time?
Man, I would go look at everything. It's a great opportunity where everybody's here. And I would also just really take a deep dive everywhere you can. This is the show to do it at. Like all the other shows are great, but this one's really the one to do it at. And so everybody's here to ask questions. Do your research on the fire truck side. Really do your research. You're going to see all the stuff that matters.
Yeah.
So check out the innovation, and then don't be afraid to network and meet people and just catch up. Like that's like half of what today's all about.
Yeah, when you have like something like 30,000 firefighters in the same city
awesome.
on the same day. Well, Scott, thanks so much for joining us on the Dispatch. Really appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great rest of the show, and I appreciate it. I got a challenge going here for you.
Awesome.
So
love
thanks
it.
a lot, bud.
Put it in the office.
All right, man. Be safe.
Thank you.
Well, really excited to have Josh here from Fanny County. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Really great to have you here. First time to FDIC. You've been here before?
First time at FDIC.
First time. All right. What day did you get in?
We come in on Saturdays, so I actually got invited to help a longtime instructor here, Lee Hollins, teach some of the hot classes. So we've been here over the weekend and just kind of getting on the convention floor now.
Man, so you got the full experience thus far. Tell me about that. What was going on? What were your classes about on Saturday?
Okay, so we actually filmed some of the training minute videos for fire engineering on Saturday. Lee was the lead instructor for gasoline tanker emergency response. Okay. So over the past couple of days, we've been teaching that class to a number of students from all around the world.
Oh man!
So it's been incredible.
Any like big takeaways from that, like from the class? Any interesting stories that you can tell?
I think everybody was amazed that there was actually we put a gasoline tanker on its side in the parking lot right outside of Lucas Oil Stadium. So Lee kind of coordinated that, made all that happen, and I think they were just a little overwhelmed to see all of the props out there when they walked out.
When did you guys set? How the heck did you set that up?
So we used 2 rotators.
Okay.
A local record service come in for us, and that's actually still a actually an in-service tanker, so they'll take it back and they'll put it back on the road after we're done with it.
No kidding. How do you convince somebody like, hey, let me borrow your tanker? We'll just tip it over.
I don't know what lease.
Or what's the story there?
I don't know what lease slid under the door to make that happen, but they were. It was actually a really good partnership with some local organizations to make that happen.
Very cool. And so you said that was the class multiple days, single day?
It was. So Lee taught the lecture portion, and there's 4 of us here with him that assisted with the hands-on. So we did foam operations, we did stabilization of the tanker, dome lid locks, and those sorts of things that we helped him with demonstrate. But we did it Monday and Tuesday. We did it 4 different times.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
And so then, so you did that. That's Monday, Tuesday. Did you have yesterday off, or did you take classes?
I took classes,
so
we kind of jumped in. Of course, you have to go to opening ceremony, and then started jumping into classes and tried to learn as much as we could.
Sure. What was the like for your first opening ceremony?
Just incredible.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming. Not realizing what this conference is all about, and then coming in and seeing that's just incredible.
So tell me about that. So it's your first time coming to it. You'd heard about it before, I'm assuming.
Heard about it.
So tell me what that was like. How much of it matched the perception of what you thought FDIC was going to be, and what types of things surprised you?
I think surprising is just the overall, the vastness of the conference, how big it really is. I think that was probably the most surprising. I think probably more educational opportunities than what I anticipated coming into it. So
when they opened the doors up, and now you're on the show floor, what kind of things have you experienced thus far walking around the show?
I just want everything, one of each.
Just one of each,
Yeah,
huh?
So if they could just send all that back to Georgia, that'd be awesome.
Oh, perfect. That's great. So, are you guys in the process? One of the things I hear from a lot of folks is the benefit of going through the show floor and being able to go in multiple cabs from multiple brands and things like that. Are you doing a little bit of that while you're here, or are there other things? I know some people are here and they're on hey, I'm here to get extrication tools, and they're comparing those types of things. What kind of stuff's on your check sheet over the next few days?
So the big items for our department that we're looking at, we want to look at some new wildland gear, and we want to look at EV blankets. That's something that we want to purchase. But top on my priority is we just signed a contract to order a 107 Ascendant from you guys.
Oh, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
I made a beeline to come here because I want to sit in the cab of this thing.
Oh, nice. So what cab did you go with on yours?
So it's a dealer stock.
Okay.
So we bought it through one of our dealers there in Georgia,
10-8.
10-8.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it is pretty much set up for us.
Sure.
But the nice thing about that is it's pretty much the truck that's sitting behind me. So.
Yeah. It should be very similar to the one that's right over that way.
Very, very similar.
And if that's the one, then that's on an Enforcer. So if you want to go climb around in there, check that cab out and whatnot. But who are you working with at the 10-8?
Guy Binion.
Guy Binion. All right, yeah. He'll run you through anything that you need. He's a gentleman.
Yep.
He's one of the best that we have. Well, Josh, I really appreciate you coming out and jumping on the podcast with us. I hope you have an awesome rest of the show. All right.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Well, this is fun. I've never got to do a podcast with 3 people at the same time. So welcome to FDIC. Who do we have here? You guys want to go down and introduce yourselves?
Well, I'm Aaron Carr.
I'm Cecilia Ogle.
My name's Hannah Presky.
What brings you
Good.
guys to FDIC? I'll tell you what, you don't sound like you're from around here, Aaron.
No, we're from down in Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Awesome. All the way from Gatlinburg. Very cool. Well, so what brought you to the show? You guys on the fire department? You guys, between you and me, you guys don't look quite the same demographic age-wise as most of the folks that I'm seeing looking around. Is there something special that brought you?
Well, thanks to this lady here and all our sponsors out there, they made it possible that we could be up here.
That's great. So you guys like in a school for firefighting? Or
High school, yeah.
You're in high school?
Yeah.
Is it a specific high school around firefighting, or what brought you up here?
It's just a class we get to take.
Man,
It's
that's
only like
neat.
certain schools in Sevier County that get to take these classes.
That's fantastic. And is this a repeat thing, or is this the first time that this program exists? I guess I'm kind of looking at you there, Cecilia.
So in the state of Tennessee, we have CTE programs, and so we actually have firefighter courses. They have a fire science program. There are 7 in the state. We are one of those 7. These students, I've got 17 of them here with me. They are actually earning college credits while they're taking my class. They can pass the test with the local college. They'll get their FESHE classes toward their fire science program.
Okay.
And then their 3rd level classes when they can start doing their academy courses. And then our state commission will actually hold their certification. So when they turn 18, they can then test for commission.
Oh my gosh. I don't see that every day when you're walking through the halls of FDIC. You guys better feel pretty special. That's a big deal. Way to invest in these folks. That's great. So I got to ask, it's pretty competitive recruiting-wise for fire departments. How many people have hit you guys up with job offers since you guys have been here? People handing those
Too
up?
many to count.
Too many
for
to
sure.
count. Yeah, they're already, you guys deciding, like it's like the draft. They're going to decide where you're going to go?
Still a thought process.
Yeah. So do you guys get to do any classes while you're here, or do you guys just doing trade show stuff? Can you tell me, Aaron, about one of the classes maybe you've done?
Well, we had the man versus machines class.
Okay.
It was interesting.
How about you, Hannah? Tell me about your experience with the classes.
We did that one, and then we also took a cardiology class too.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Very cool. So how about the show floor? Tell me about what this is like. So you guys, it's been open for, 2.5 hours? Anything that's jumping out at you from a trade show perspective since you've been here?
A lot of fire trucks.
A lot of fire trucks. You have favorites?
Yeah.
I'm just teasing you guys.
The ones with the rough tires are the best. That's all I got to say.
The which ones?
The off-road vehicles.
Oh, the rough tires.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I appreciate the translation there. I'm horribly sorry, Aaron. That's great. What other kinds of things are standing out to you guys in terms of technology that you've seen so far at the show?
Oh yeah, definitely the robots.
The robots?
The
They're
robots
wild.
are really cool.
Yeah, there's one behind me. You guys got to take a look. It's not a robot, but there's something behind me over here. It's this prototype that they call collision avoidance mitigation system. And so it's a new system that they have. As you know, may have learned, and certainly they have classes around here, it's the dangers of operating on a highway, and you're working on a highway incident, particularly to first responders, whether it's fire, police, EMS, whatever the case. But it's providing alerts ahead of time so that people can get out of the way. It's pretty neat. The things you got to check out at the Pierce booth. Just check out the tower over here. That's something that's definitely worth going through. And the other one is, man, especially at your age, ask a ton of questions. So anything else? What else would you say? Big experience that you'd say that surprised you the most coming to FDIC?
I guess the people and just the experience. I mean, this is a big place.
You ever seen 30,000 firefighters in the same place at the same time?
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
That's wild. Well, anything you guys want to say to the folks back home in Gatlinburg before we sign off?
I'm ready to graduate the school, so.
Oh, there you go. Well, good for you. Well, thank you so much for doing this. Way to invest in the youth of the youth fire program, and it's just so cool to see. I hope you guys all land full-time jobs somewhere in this country, serving in this industry, and I hope we get to serve you one day as well. So thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, and I would like to say before I get off here, Miss Ogle has done an amazing job in her class, and I know all her students, we all appreciate her so much, and we appreciate you
100%
guys.
we do.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome to hear, Miss Ogle. I got to say, you're a bit of a saint looking out seeing, over a dozen high school-aged folks. That's got to be a heck of a week. But thanks for the commitment to the fire industry. We're so lucky to have people like you serving in it.
Thank you.
All right, we're back. Bobby, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm a captain in the City of Washington Fire Department in Pennsylvania. I've been here for 18 years now.
All right.
So, yeah, it's my first time back to FDIC in 18 years. So we're
So wait, 18 years with the department.
Yep.
And then you went your first year then?
Yep.
Man, what brought you back?
Into some new networking, meeting a lot of people. Got to come here and see the newest, latest, greatest things. See what Pierce has to offer too.
Sure. Well, we appreciate you doing that and stopping by the booth. What's changed in the last 8? If you have a 17-year gap,
Yeah. What hasn't changed?
Yeah,
I guess is the better
suppose,
question.
huh?
No, I mean a lot of great things, a lot of innovations. Man, especially when it comes to the apparatus, it's a night and day difference
Sure.
from the fire trucks we were jumping on 18 years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of technology, a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, so like when you talk about that, I mean, I know it's pretty fresh here. The show's only been open for a few hours, but anything you've seen thus far that just jumps out at you right now?
We're looking at that LSL or aerial sitting over there, being able to get it. We got old fire station, old
Sure.
doors, being able to get it at that 1010 height is a huge thing for us.
Absolutely, very cool. So you said a historic firehouse. Is it one of those ones that you can't make any changes to it, no changes to door heights, all of that, or?
Yeah, it's been built in 1960, and we're kind of pigeonholed to where we're at, but we got to make do with what we have. We've been talking to our local dealer, Glick Fire Apparatus, at those LSLs, and actually see one in person is really nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's really neat to get to see, and it's fun if you have a chance. We have a handful of engineers here that would love to hear your feedback on it, and that even give you some explanations of how they were able to achieve that new height on it. But it's been fun watching the team get to work on it. So while you're here, did you do any classes, any of that kind of stuff while you're at the show, or strictly exhibits?
No, yeah, we spent some time yesterday in classroom sessions, and today just checking out the show here. Spent 3 days before this at FDTN down the road here, doing some good hands-on training. But yeah, it's been great.
What's that? Tell me a little bit more about FDTN.
It's the Disneyland for firefighters. Hands-on training, live fire, everything. It's the best. Yeah.
What's the acronym stand for?
Fire Department Training Network.
All right, very cool.
Yeah.
Are you pretty involved in that?
This was only my second time there, but I can't wait to go back. Every fireman's got to go there.
That's great. So how far is that from here?
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's paired up perfectly with FDIC week. That's why we were able to make it back here first time in 18 years.
Oh, that's really neat. We have Chief Gabri here from San Diego. Chief, how did I get to do this?
Oh, it's just your charming personality.
Oh, it's incredible.
Hey, it's
Getting to
good
sit
times.
down with Chief Gabri.
Good
Holy cow,
times.
it's weird being here with a microphone between us instead of sitting around Stucks having pizza or whatever the
That's
case
true.
is. So, if you can keep track, how many times have you been to FDIC?
This is my 7th year in a row.
7th year in a row being here.
Yeah.
All right. What keeps you coming back year after year?
Networking.
Networking. Very
Working
good.
with a lot of other departments and talking to them about the trials and tribulations that they're handling and having, and that's how we solve our problems, by talking to other departments.
Sure. Do you have like a set group of folks? I mean, if you're doing it 7 years in a row, that you're like, hey, I always run into this person that you reconnect with every year?
I do. Yeah,
do?
I got people from Las Vegas, New York City, down in Florida, Charlotte, all kinds of different departments. And,
Sure.
And we network year-round.
Do you ever do any? I know we talked a little bit about the networking element. Do you do any? You do some teaching at FDIC, don't you, or do you do some
I haven't.
presenting?
No, I used to do it at Firehouse World. I haven't done it
Firehouse,
yet.
that's
Yeah.
what it was. Weren't you on a panel or something like that?
Yeah, I was on a panel recently. I was on a panel 2 years ago for
electrification.
electrification.
That's
yes.
what it was. How about going to classes? Do you take any when you're here?
I do what we call the Metro Officers Briefing, innovation briefing, that I do on Tuesdays and Wednesdays before FDIC.
Okay. How about any other technologies? Anything that stood out for you? I know the show's been open for a whopping 2 hours right now. But anything you've seen just in the quick spin around thus far that stood out to you?
I haven't really seen anything yet. I kind of right now I'm hitting all my vendors and my network people
Sure.
to just say hi and talk to them.
Sure.
And haven't really looked at anything just yet.
Okay, very good.
So-
Well, any tips or tricks that you'd offer as somebody that's been coming to the show for a long time, that let's say it's their first time at FDIC, that you would say you have to do to be successful here?
Well, you have to come by peers.
Oh, thank you, Chief. I appreciate that.
You know, and part of it is you have to me, I write a list down of all the places I need to go, because again, what is your needs for your department?
Yeah.
And so you make sure you go see all those different people then from that point, because there's so much to look at here.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to be focused.
On that, and I'm going to totally sidetrack on this one because it just popped into my head. What was the you went to the CES show, right? I think I've seen you since then, that Consumer
Yeah, I was at
Electronics show.
CES as well.
What was that like?
That was interesting, 'cause that was
Yeah.
the first time I was at CES,
Sure.
and seeing the whole technology side, which there's a lot of that here as well. But again, this is so geared to fire departments. It's a little more focused on that kind of stuff, where CES was a bigger, broader spectrum to just all electronics.
Right.
So
was
it was
there any of
definitely
that
different.
stuff that like you took away from that show that like you think is applicable to the fire industry?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of technology out there going forward for us. It's just a matter of how does it get applied to the fire service.
Sure.
So, and then that's, it starts somewhere, and eventually it gets rolled into the fire service eventually to help save it and to make us be more efficient.
Oh, very good, very good. Well, hey, I really appreciate you jumping on. Is there anything you want to say to the fine folks in San Diego before you sign off?
Hey, it's a beautiful place to be from.
That is, absolutely. Yeah, especially when it's raining out here, huh? No kidding.
It's 75 and sunny.
I was telling somebody it's about 72 inside right now.
Yeah,
that's about all I got for you. Well,
Yeah.
thanks a ton, Chief. I really appreciate your friendship over the years, and certainly jumping on the dispatch means a ton to us. Hope you have a great rest of your show.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Well, hey, I'm here with Aaron at FDIC on the Pierce Dispatch. Aaron, can you introduce yourself? Tell me a little bit about what department you're on, what brought you to the show?
Sure. My name's Aaron. I've been in the fire service for about 5 years. I just started with my full-time department about 3 years ago, Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. Came to check out all the vendors and go to as many classes as I can while I'm here.
Well, that's awesome. I've spent some time up there in Cuyahoga Falls, Ohio. That's a great area there.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very inviting.
Yeah. So is it first time at FDIC, or have you been here before?
This is my second time. I came about 2 years ago.
Okay. So what brought you in? Are you doing training? Are you looking at different equipment? What brought you to the show?
Chief pretty much put out an email. He's like, hey, anybody interested in going to FDIC, submit your name. We'll draw them from a hat. And I was lucky enough to get my name drawn, and just trying to go to all the classes I can while I'm here because
Sure.
there's a wealth of knowledge and really cool trucks and equipment here. So
Do you spend any time like networking wise out here? Is there anybody like outside your department that you reconnect with when you come here for your second time?
there's a lot of neighboring departments and friends from school. It's a close knit community, so everybody knows somebody, and if they don't, they know somebody who knows that guy. So
Sure.
hanging out with all those people and reconnecting with long lost friends is also a part of it.
So, Aaron, anything jump out at you at the show floor so far in the first few hours of the show?
I walked through the expo with the mindset of a couple of issues and looking for solutions to some things that we have that
Sure.
we might be able to find a solution to, or new equipment or technology, or finding what we're going towards. Like, we currently have a ladder truck, which is why I kind of wandered over here to this booth.
Sure.
We're looking at getting a tower to replace it, so I
Sure.
wanted to check it out and see what the newest technology was and what I might expect in the next 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, you're talking about like the 100-foot towers? Is that what you guys are looking at?
Yeah, we currently have a 105-foot ladder truck
Okay.
from Pierce, and we're looking at getting a mid-mount tower. So
Oh, very
I
cool.
kind of wanted to check it out. We've never had a mid-mount tower before, so I just
Sure.
wanted to get hands-on.
So what's the rest of the week look like for you, Aaron? What else are you going to do while you're at the show?
So we came in on Tuesday, and we're leaving sometime tomorrow. So I'm trying to hit up as many classes as I can today and make my way around the expo and
Sure.
try to catch up with some old friends later today.
Yeah,
And
that's a hoop, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and
Sure.
joining us here on the dispatch. Anything you want to say to the folks back home in Cuyahoga Falls?
hi to my brothers and sisters back home. Stay safe, keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, thanks a ton. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it, all right?
No
All
problem.
right, be safe. Mark, could you give a little intro on your name, where you're from?
Yeah, happy to be here. I'm Mark Kirko. I'm the fire chief in Homer, Alaska. And it's a 21-hour trip to get down here, and we're going to make the best of it. I got two guys here with me, a guy and a gal, actually, and they just completed the Firefighter Combat Challenge and did great out there. So they hold the record for the state of Alaska in time.
Well, thanks for so much for making the trip down here. Is it your first time to FDIC?
Nope, been here a few times before. Haven't been for a few years, so figured we might need to get back here and enjoy the atmosphere here. This is just fantastic.
So I think oftentimes we come to these and we think, hey, we have this trade show, right? Our team comes in, they set all these trucks up, we get them all polished up and pretty. But the real element of it is those classes.
Yeah,
Can you talk
absolutely.
about what classes you took and how you choose those?
Oh man, so I took a couple of leadership classes already, and then actually took 2 classes regarding specifications of fire apparatus and the challenges of putting together a fire apparatus that fits your area, your community. Because everything's different. Not every truck is the same, and not every fire service area is the same. So
Yeah.
you have to really study that and analyze your needs, and then make good decisions and work with some of these professionals out here to make sure you get what you need for your community.
Sure. So what were any big takeaways from that class around specifying apparatus?
Well, I think the big takeaway, I think for most people, and I bought, probably 12 different apparatus since I started doing this. And I think the biggest takeaway that I would say to anybody is, man, do your due diligence up front. Really, really figure out what you want, what your community needs, what the requirements are. Like, we have a very large hilly area in our community, and it's steep. It all goes up hills, very steep. So we need to have a large horsepower motor.
Sure.
So those are some of the big things that you want to look at, and then making sure that you're following the standard, the NFP standard, and
Yeah.
all those kinds of things. And just communicate really well with your sales team, and you'll probably get a really good truck.
So outside of engine size, is there anything else specific that you do in Homer that you would say is unique to your configuration?
No, not too much. We just took delivery 3 months ago of 2 Pierce pumper tankers. So we upped our water capacity because we were able to increase our motor size so that we can handle the hills actually better than what we had before, even with the less amount of water. So for us, it is try to keep it simple, design a truck that's going to fit your needs and fight the fires that you have in your area.
Yeah.
We don't go over the top with things that we don't really need.
Yeah. Have you seen anything that just stood out at you so far in your time around?
I think I see some newer, great ergonomic things to make firefighters'
Sure.
jobs easier and safer. So that's always a benefit to me as a chief.
Yeah.
Make sure my guys are healthy and got the tools that they need to do the job. So there's just a lot of other things. So I'm sure I've seen a few things that are
Yeah.
like really, really cool and would be good for the industry. So we'll just keep on looking at all that
Yeah,
stuff.
when
while
you
we're here.
mentioned the healthy element, I don't know if you saw, there's an enforcer over this way that has this new filter system in the air condition.
Yep.
And so the TFT actually has it over in their booth as well, but it has it integrated in the AC. It's just a really cool thing from that when you talk about the health element of it, from the reduction in carcinogens in the cab. And it's one of those things you almost have to know it's there to even see it.
100%.
Well, Mark, I really appreciate it. Is there anything you want to say to anybody back home all the way in Alaska?
Well, if you're listening, your Team Alaska captain and firefighter did really well in the Firefighter Combat Challenge, so we're all proud of that.
That's awesome.
And look forward to doing it again next year.
Thanks so much, Chief. I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks, guys.
Well, very good. So excited to have you, Aaron, here on the Pierce Dispatch podcast at FDIC 2025. Aaron, you mind introducing yourself a little bit?
Sure. My name is Aaron Zamzow. I'm on a podcast called Better Every Shift through Fire Rescue One in Lexipol, and I also do some stuff with First Responder Center for Excellence. And then when I'm not doing that, I get to ride on a Pierce engine at Madison Fire, engine number 5.
So do you come to FDIC pretty regularly, or is this every now and then type of thing for you?
Well, I've been in the fire service 15 years, so the last couple of years, I'm kind of like the village idiot. Honest to God. So I have so much fun when I'm down here. The Better Every Shift kind of concept and podcast has we've almost done 150 podcasts and episodes where I've been able to just interview so many wonderful people in the fire service. So going around FDIC, we get to see them in their own environment. And so walking through the hallways, just seeing some guests, going to the different booths, like visiting here, just talking about the fire service. So I think out of everybody that comes here, I have probably more fun than most.
Yeah?
Yeah. So FDIC for me is so much fun on the relationship side, just to rekindle relationships. And you see that, right? The first couple days with you here and the team, everybody finally is together for the purpose of showing off what you guys have done and what you've developed. And for what I get to do it's just to rekindle and to just face-to-face contact with.
Yeah, and that's such a good reminder of, we talk about, and we say it a lot internally, it's like it's a relationship business. Like people don't buy fire trucks or equipment or PPE from companies, they buy them from people.
Yes.
And it's just, to me, it's so refreshing just to see everybody, and to your point, be in one location. And there's just such like a unifying element to that. But the other part that's bizarre to me, I mean, this is my 14th or so time coming here. Every time you're still just excited. And you walk in, you kind of like feel the energy, and you kind of catch all of it.
Well, I had a conversation with someone. I was at Crackle magazine. I was doing, for some reason, I was at Crackle
magazine for all of you back home.
Yeah.
There's the shot of that.
So I was doing some signing, which is super surreal. But the conversations with everybody was, what are you taking from the show?
Sure.
And I think the biggest thing is that people just get reinvigorated. Like, look at the crowd, right? Everybody's kind of look around. What can I take with me? What questions can I get answered? And I, Better Every Shift, the podcast isn't really just a podcast. It's a mentality that you see everybody here. They're not here because someone forced them to be here.
Yeah.
Right? They're here because they want to get better. They want to understand what the new products are and how they can help them be a better firefighter, how they can help be a better medic, or even chief, or just how can they provide better service. And so that's the essence of that. And you just interviewed a bunch of young
how cool was that?
Right? It's great to see the young crowd here, but it's great to see the next generation get fired up about training. And I think we lose that too. Like, I've had a lot of great conversations with people that have been here for 20 or 30 years, but they're starting to notice that next generation coming through. And that's a big part of this, which helps kind of, especially you in your line of work, like, hey, fire service is in good hands. We need to keep up and keep them safe. And,
absolutely.
So that's what I like about this. The other part is, you and I were just talking, you're from Oshkosh, or you live in Oshkosh. I'm from Ripon. Like, Pierce is small family kind of company. It started that way, right? Like,
in 1913, it was some brothers putting bodies on Model T chassis in Appleton, Wisconsin. Isn't that weird? You look at it like today. Yeah.
But I'm from Wisconsin, so I've driven past that. Right? For 51 years. That's how old. I'm very old. But it's really cool to see. I remember when I was growing up, it wasn't that big.
Yep.
But I always knew it's because there's a fire truck sitting out front.
Yep.
And then to watch, what Oshkosh Corp has done and watch what Pierce has done through my career is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But coming here, like I know the marketing staff and it's like still family in a way, right? And I think that's kind of the essence of what you guys try to do here, right?
I mean, the part of that too is, I mean, it's just there's so much servitude in it. And it's fun, and like I know you as the stair climb, like from me seeing you at the stair climb, and you're up there.
Hey, speaking of that, by the way, if anybody wants to see Lambeau Field from the inside, Pierce does. We have a great stair climb event.
Yeah.
Well, my dad, heard the story about my dad. So, my dad was so moved about the opening ceremony.
Sure.
And Victor Stagnaro was there from NFFF, and so I do some work with them, and so my dad. Asked Victor why he wasn't climbing, and he said, well, we need, I got to go to another one that's a little bit bigger. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is Lambeau Field. He's like, well, if you guys can get 3,000-4,000 people here, I'll climb. And my dad out of nowhere is like, if you're climbing, I'm climbing.
Yeah.
Now, he just had open heart surgery and knee surgery.
That's gracious.
And on his list of things that what were motivating him, he put on there a stair climb event.
Yeah.
Because he as he said too, he's like, it's the essence of like what we stand for in Wisconsin. Pierce is involved with that, and there's some other health and wellness initiatives that we started to talk about. So it's great because it's close to home for me in numerous ways.
Yeah, on the health and wellness side, one of the things you ought to check out, there's some folks from one of the sister companies of Pierce, Pratt Miller here, and they helped develop this, that's the collision avoidance technology that they've done. So that's from a health and survivability standpoint, trying to make sure that the firefighters are safe when they're operating on the side of a highway. So they got some technology there. But the other one, too, more on the wellness side, is TFT, the Task Force Tips Group, has got that new, or they've had it for a while, but they have that filter system you can put in the cab. And they worked with Dave Archer and our engineering team. Now they integrate it into the cab, which is awesome.
But TFT is actually, they also do some filtration systems for bunk rooms. So we're testing a TFT filter in our bunk room.
No kidding.
And I will tell you, my crew, after the first couple of weeks, they used to get some bad allergies, and they're coming up and they're not feeling it in their allergies as much. But you transfer that to the cab.
Sure.
On the scene, with decon, and then coming from a fire also, but also, you're on scene, you got the diesel, but it's filtering any of those particulates out, right, and making it a lot safer for us. And Jeff Burgess from University of Arizona was doing some cancer research, and they were saying even like drivers at the panel are exposed to PFAS.
Sure.
So it's all around our environment. So there's ways that we can start taking it out like that. That's foolproof. More power to you guys, and that's better for us.
Yeah, and on the wellness side, it's so interesting in our industry. Everyone seems to be in a different part of like the pendulum on what they're going to do. Some people are, we don't have SCBAs in the cab.
Yeah.
Some of them are, hey, let's just we're gonna make sure we have vinyl seats so they're easy to wipe. And to me, like things like this, where it's like, hey, this is a quick win.
But from a health and wellness standpoint, the focus has changed.
Yeah.
But even the fact that you guys are talking about that and ahead of the game on that, props to what Pierce is doing. And then you look at, your collision avoidance. I know ergonomically too, like I'm a short guy, so we talked a little bit about ergonomics with some of the newer chassis, bringing them down so you're less injury. So ergonomics, I think, have come a long way. And I think one of the topics that I've seen a lot through FDIC is health and wellness, safety, and I think accountability, just holding each other more accountable to the things that we know we should be doing. And it's all moving in the right direction. It's great to see manufacturers like Pierce stepping forward.
But anyway, hey, Aaron, I do want to wrap this bad boy up. I know there's other folks coming up here. Really great catching up with you. It means a ton that you jumped on the dispatch with us.
We'll see you in September. You're going to climb.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to bring
the boys. The boys will be there again. Last year, my mother climbed, which was pretty neat. It was her first time doing it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. It's good to see you, brother.
Yeah, you too.
We'll see you soon again. Probably floating around Oshkosh, and then obviously at Lambeau.
All right, very good. Be safe.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. I have some exciting news to share with my co-host, Dan Meyer, who is the Vice President of Sales at Pierce Manufacturing.
Yeah, we are taking the show on the road. So not only can you see our trucks here at FDIC, but if you want to get some hands-on demonstrations, the road show kicks off on Monday, in fact.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're going to Missouri.
That's right. So you can see our trucks all across the country. If you look at piercemfg.com, they can give you a good up-to-date look on where those trucks are, and certainly you can call your Pierce sales representative there. Some of the things you can expect, we'll have Pierce product specialists at every stop. Obviously, our local sales representatives will be there. A lot of them are going to be hosted at dealer locations, so you can look at service centers, things of that nature. You can pump trucks, you can drive trucks, bring all of your questions that you have, and we're really excited to get out there and spend some time with our customers out in the field.
Yeah, you're not going to want to miss this one.
All right.
All right, thank you. And I want to say thank you to anybody who listened in person or online. Be sure to check out the Pierce website or contact your local dealer if you have any further questions.
We'll see you on the road.
Thank you.